In this video, bringing you guys the top 10 best ever bloodlines in Shindo Life. Now, if you guys are wondering what this video is about, it's about the bloodlines that were the best ever in the game. The literal best bloodlines to ever grace this game, and if they were to actually fight each other, this is probably the ranking they would go in. Now, I would like to say that I think a new PvP game mode where it actually used bloodlines in their prime would be pretty cool, just to show you guys how broken a bloodline can actually be, because there has been some super nasty stuff. Like, if you want to complain about the current M1 meta, you should have played during the Shindai Akuma meta, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's get right to the video, guys. This is going to be a really interesting one, so feel free to stick around for the entire video, and remember to hit that like button, subscribe. All right, so coming in 10th place is going to be Riser Akuma, and no, it's not because of the auto dodge. Now, I know that is the reason why Riser Akuma is so good now, but that is not the reason why it was the best, one of the best ever bloodlines in Shindo Life. If you guys are unaware, Riser Akuma at one point, this third ability right here, it used to do like 120,000 damage unmoded. It used to chi seal, it used to mode drain, and it was just such a busted ability, because this ability you could get off during pretty much any combo of the game at that time, because at that time of the game, auto dodges you could not use during, you know, when you're stunned. So pretty much what would happen is, even if you were playing competitive duels or whatever, if you got hit by that ability like once or twice, you pretty much instantly lost the entire duel. That ability itself is kind of the reason why Riser Akuma was on this list, but the other abilities of Riser Akuma, they're very okay. I would say none of them have really fit into any meta besides the auto dodge, which fits into the meta now. I also like to say that the auto dodge used to be a lot longer than what it is now, and the C spec also, you know, the C spec I'm pretty sure used to mode drain a lot more than it drains now. But in the end of things, Riser Akuma is going to be intense simply because of this third ability. It was absolutely nuts. I mean, I'm not lying when I say this. Literally every single person and their mom was using Riser Akuma third. It was kind of crazy at that time of the game. Now, coming in 9th place is going to be Forged Akuma. Yes, I know this bloodline does not exist in this game anymore. As you guys are probably aware, or maybe not even aware, Forged Akuma at one point was actually a bloodline in the game. It was renamed to Shiver Akuma, which is the, you know, it's the same bloodline, but they actually changed the abilities a bit and renamed it. So the actual weapon spec of it, so the weapon spec, it hasn't really changed, but there actually used to be a glitch where if you would like, there was a glitch with the weapon spec, so if you would weapon spec reset, it would permanently glitch them out, and there was nothing they could do about it. But the main reason why Forged Akuma was so broken before is because it was so good for infinite combos. This first ability right here, there actually has been some changes to it, but that ability, you know, it used to last a lot longer, and it also used to place lock stun you afterwards. So it was really good for infinite combos. Not only that, but you know, the reality warp Sujitsu that was in the game, or is currently in the game, not was in the game, that used to be part of this bloodline's actual moveset. It was changed to a Sujitsu because of how good it was. But yeah, right now it has a stun, but it used to have that ability involved with it. Also, obviously, guys, the C spec here, I'm sure you guys can imagine how good this was back in the day when, you know, auto dodges didn't really exist. You could just pop this one and be like, yo, what's up, how's your day, man? Bop bop bink, bop bop bop, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the point of release, it was really good in this game, and I do actually feel like that having the reality warp attached to it itself was pretty broken, all things considered. Not only that, but the fact it was so good for infinite combos at the time, it was pretty insane, all things considered. Hey, you, yeah, you, have you remembered to hit the like button on the video yet? If you haven't already, go ahead and do it. Now, coming in 8th place is going to be Odin Sabaru. I know this one, you know, it's kind of hard to, you know, decipher or whatever, but dude, the C spec actually used to do even more damage than it does now. As you can see, it does stack when they're next to each other. It used to do even more damage. Not only that, but you know, the auto dodge hasn't really been changed or all that much, all things considered. It still is the exact same ability. The second ability is the exact same, you know, that much hasn't really changed from Odin Sabaru. But what did change, and this was probably the biggest change to Odin Sabaru, this ability. It doesn't look that good anymore, right? It only does 2,000 damage a hit. You know, that ability, it could have never been good, right? Oh my gosh, you couldn't be more wrong. Those clones used to do like 8,000 damage a hit. They used to bypass your auto dodge. There used to be 3 of them, and the ability used to be instant, and it's also a counter. Yes, you heard that correctly. It used to be a counter. Also, for some reason, the M1s actually do stun you, and it's not just a normal stun. It was an auto dodge type of stun. It was M1 stagger, so there you couldn't do anything. And if they would use any combo on you, these clones could literally stall the combo out so hard to the point where you would just instantly die from these clones themselves. It was pretty ridiculous. I'm sure if you guys have ever, you know, existed during the Odin Sabaru clone meta, it was pretty nuts. It was pretty disgusting, and it obviously was not fun whatsoever. Coming in 7th place is going to be Shindai Ren Goku. Now, yes, you guys heard it. This is going to be one of the more recent ones in the game, because this one actually did not release that long ago. But if you guys are unaware, these M1s right here, they used to actually stun. As you guys can see, they did remove the stun from them. Not only that, well, I mean, they do still stun, but it's like 0.5 seconds, so it's not a stun at all. It's more like 0.1 seconds, actually. Not only that, but they used to not knock back, and they used to actually be a little bit longer than what they are now. So if you guys can imagine that, that is kind of nuts. Not only that, but the actual abilities of Shindai Ren are also, like the second ability, the AoE used to be pretty finicky on release, but it still was usable. But But these throwables right here, they used to be on 8-second cooldown. Yes, 8 seconds cooldown. So, you know, even if you throw out every other ability Shindai Ren, if you only included the third ability, the throwable, and the M1s of the first mode, this Bloodline would be ridiculously overpowered. Not only that, but the actual counter of Shindai Ren right here, it used to do even more damage than it does now. I know that is hard to believe, you know, considering that it is one of the highest damage abilities in the game right now. It used to be able to one-shot someone, and he's just flying off in the distance over there. But yeah, what you would do is you would use the counter, use any place lock stun of the game, and it would actually be, especially, you know, if you actually use Muay Thai or you use something like that, you could one-shot someone that was moded while you were modeless. It was pretty nuts. Like, so what you would do is you would use the counter, they would hit it, place lock stun, and then they would die instantly. That would pretty much be the end of things. It used to do so much damage, and it actually used to take even less chi than it does now. So, you know, this Bloodline, I gotta say, guys, it was pretty nuts on release. I'm sure you guys can agree if you lived during that meta. And yeah, they're both dead already, and it's nerf Bloodline. It's kind of crazy. Now, coming in 6th place is going to be Ryan Ren Goku. Now, I'm going to be using the first mode because that is what existed in the game at the time. But Ryan Ren Goku, yes, this pull move right here. So this pull move, the reason why it was so overpowered at the time is because of the actual meta of the game. So the meta of the game was clone combos, and as you guys might imagine, pulling someone into you after you use clones, yeah, it's a little bit broken. And it also place locks them, and it also had M1 priority. So the combo at the time was it was literally, this was the entire combo: block break, clone move, Ryan Ren pull, Shiver Chidori into like umpire guitar. It would immediately one-shot them. There was nothing they could do about it. It was literally undodgeable. You couldn't even auto dodge or anything like that. It was an instant death, and there was nothing you could do against it. It was also a thing with Vine, as I'll get on to when I get actually to Vine in this video. Vine clones also did a ton of damage, but Ryan Ren wasn't only busted because of that. This second ability used to not be on the auto dodge global cooldown. Not only that, but it used to last twice as long. I know, you know, that's hard to believe, but it used to last twice as long as it does now. And it wasn't on the auto dodge global cooldown, so people were spamming the crap out of that. This third ability used to be instant. It actually was reverted to how it was before. You know, it used to do a slight place lock stun and isn't on the stun global cooldown. It pretty much is what it is before, but it used to be instantaneous. Also, this Z-Spec, the actual AoE of the Z-Spec, it used to be one of the largest abilities in the entire game. It also used to block break. I'm not sure if it does still block break, but I'm sure it still does. But it used to be one of the largest abilities in the game. But the main reason why Ryan Ren was so broken is because the actual abilities of Ryan Ren were so nuts, man. It was absolutely insane. You guys have to see it to believe it. I'll try and throw some old clips so you guys can actually see it yourself. Now, coming to 5th place is going to be Forged Ren Goku. Yes, you heard this correctly. This is a skin. I don't know why people think this, but a lot of the skins of the game are the exact same as their Bloodline counterparts. So, yeah, it's just Forged Ren. But when it comes to this Z-Spec used to do even more damage than it does now. There's also a domain function. So if you would say !domain in the chat, you could do it at any HP threshold. Now you have to have max HP, but you used to be able to use it as literally an auto dodge. So this was before auto dodges were changed in the game, so you could auto dodge mid combo. But Forged Ren used to be able to do it before that even existed, because you would just domain yourself mid combo, and you could also just heal up inside the domain. It was absolutely ridiculous. You could also have infinite mode. I know that it's hard to believe, but you could have infinite mode with the domain. The domain was definitely one of the most busted parts of it. But this second ability here, it used to not be on the stun global cooldown. I mean the iframe global cooldown. Or I forget if no, it's definitely iframe global cooldown. But it used to not be in the iframe global cooldown. This first ability here, it used to be able to charge your chi on top of the statue. So it was literally just a free chi recharge. It was super toxic. It was pretty much, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was kind of a free win in all honesty back then. But obviously, guys, the web spec hasn't really changed. I think they reduced the damage by a little bit. But yeah, domain was the main reason why Forged Ren was so busted. But the abilities were also still extremely good. Now, coming to 4th place is gonna be Minakaze. Yes, you heard me correctly, Minakaze. Now, if you guys are unaware, Minakaze used to be actually kind of nuts, insane, broken balls to the wall, which is the reason why everyone loves it. This is also another pretty recent release, which is the reason why people still use it. This second ability right here, I know at the start it was bad, you know, it still is bad, but at the start it used to do like, I'm pretty sure it used to do like 80, 100,000 damage. Like, Minakaze was the highest damage bloodline in the game at that time, which is pretty crazy considering there was some pretty high damage hitters. The first ability was changed a bit. It was actually buffed, so the first ability is better than it used to be. But the main reason why Minakaze is on this list, and you guys know it if you guys, you know, have used this third ability. it used to be instant. It used to do like almost 100,000 damage modeless. I'm under the map now. It used to bypass block, so it used to go through block. It used to have like a ton more kunai, so it would keep him stunned for longer. Like that third ability was so insanely overpowered. It was actually kind of disgusting in all honesty. Like I would say that that ability, you know, it was so good a release. It was also pretty fun to use, but the people that did actually abuse it, the people that did spam it, you know, they knew what they were doing. They knew that this bloodline was absolutely insanely overpowered. It was nuts. I mean, like, let's be honest, guys. If you guys actually had that third ability used against you, you kind of know what I'm saying. And not only that, but the C-Spec actually hasn't changed. So yeah, Midakaze, you know, super high damage output. You used to be able to bypass block. It had super high damage combos that were impossible to avoid unless, you know, spammed auto dodge and things like that. So yeah, I gotta say Midakaze is a major W in the best ever bloodline book. Now coming in third place is gonna be Ryuji Kanichi. Yes, Ryuji Kanichi. I'm sure you guys have already, you know, known this. Ryuji Kanichi first ability used to have the hitbox of a literal whale. You could literally miss someone from 10 million miles away and somehow smack their forehead in the side of their head, you know, straight up strip the hair off their head from 10 miles away, and you used to be able to combo them instantly. Not only that, but the second ability used to do like twice as much damage as it does now. I know that's hard to imagine. It still does tons of damage. It used to do like 120,000 damage unmoded. Not only that, but the third ability actually hasn't been changed that much, but the third ability, you know, there has been some slight changes to make it so not so busted, but the main reason why Ryuji Kanichi used to be so busted, I know this is hard to believe considering the mode is still so good, but oh my gosh, this mode used to be like at least 10 times better. If you guys are unaware, the actual passive auto dodge part of the mode used to be at the first start of the mode too, so it's not just locked to low HP. It used to be the entirety of the mode. Not only that, but low HP mode used to give you 1,000 more HP and 1,000 more tie to actually do more damage overall. I know that's really hard to believe, but yes, that existed in the game at one point in time, and yes, it was busted, as you guys might imagine. Now coming in second place is going to be Bankai Akuma. Yes, you heard that correctly, Bankai. Now, the reason for this is every single ability of Bankai, and I know this may be hard to believe, it used to be instant. Yes, you heard that correctly. Every single Bankai used to be instantaneous. I know, it's crazy. Also, you know, the third ability used to hit 3 people in a row, so you could stack up to like 300,000 damage to someone. The C-Spec used to mode drain even more. You used to be able to stack the C-Spec on people, and yeah, there's not really much to say about Bankai. You guys know how good Bankai is now. Imagine that before God Bloodlines were really introduced to the game, and all the abilities were instant. Yes, yeah, that's pretty nutty. Now, honorable one is going to be Vine. Now, this is going to be simply because of the clothes. The actual auto dodge itself used to be really good, but it still is really good, but just doesn't really fit the meta now. But oh my gosh, these clones, man, these clones were ridiculous. They used to do, I'm not lying when I say this, used to do like 400,000 damage. I know it's hard to grasp the fact that it did that much damage considering no abilities really do 400,000 damage, but it used to do 400,000 damage, and if you would play select them, they would die. It would literally be instant death. Not only that, but there was also 2 more clones, which is part of the reason why I did so much damage, and the actual M1s used to do 13,000, as you guys can see there. So yeah, Vine was pretty good. Now coming in honorable mention 2 is going to be Satori Akuma. Now I do admit Satori Akuma should have probably been on the list, but there's a reason why I didn't put it on the list. I know that the auto dodge counter thing exists now, right? But it always did exist. They were always on cooldown with each other, and not only that, but the actual auto dodge used to be terrible. It used to be unusable, and I feel like that should definitely be mentioned. It was actually extremely garbage. But the reason why it's on this list is not only because of the third ability, which is do over like 120,000 damage to someone. It used to stun someone for like 10 years. This weapon spec used to do like 250,000 damage. I know it, dude. It used to do so much damage. It was, oh my gosh, I don't even want to talk about it. It was so disgusting. I had to fight it competitive multiple times, dude. It was just insane. It was absolutely insane. The amount of damage it used to do on such a low cooldown, people just run away, spam it. They still do, even though it doesn't do that much damage. And yeah, overall, Satori Akuma definitely deserves a spot on this list. What do you guys think is the best ever bloodline in Shindo Life? Feel free to tell me in the comments below. What is the best bloodline that you've ever owned in the game? Now, coming to first place, as you guys probably imagine, it's going to be Shindai Akuma. Yes, Shindai Akuma right here. Oh my gosh. I'm sure if you guys have ever been on my streams, you guys know me. I've talked about this before. I told you guys just how busted this bloodline used to be. If you guys are unaware, it does actually have a 4th mode. I don't use it because it's pretty bad now. But if you guys, I'll just go through the abilities one by one, since every single ability Shindai Akuma was busted, believe it or not. This first ability ability in the full Susanoo mode used to use your weapon spec every single M1 combo. So what it would do, if you had like Threadblade, literally you could just use this ability after they were stunned or whatever. They would Threadblade them into the clones and they would instantly die. It would be quite literally an instant death. There was nothing you could do about it. Not only that, but the normal clones, if you used any place lock stun with the normal clones right here, it would also one-shot you. Believe it or not, yes, it would also one-shot you. So, you know, Shindai Kuma, the clones, was kind of the most overpowered part of it, in all honesty. But don't get me started on this second ability. This second ability used to have 0 hand signs. As you guys can see, the AoE is pretty small now. The AoE, I'm not even lying when I say this. I know this is super hard to believe, but it could probably hit you from the right here, this part of the gate, and all the way to here. I'm not lying. This is not a lie. It could probably hit you from there to here. Yes, the AoE of that ability used to be that large. Not only that, but it used to block break, and it was instant. So it was a completely unavoidable ability. You couldn't even like dash out of or dodge out of anything. If you blocked, you would get block broke. If you tried to auto dodge, you would waste your auto dodge. So yeah, that ability, it was pretty insane. Not only that, but the third ability, it used to actually block break them. So this ability that was a stun used to block break them. So yeah, Shindai Kuma unreleased. It was just, oh my gosh. Don't get me started on the C-Spec either. The C-Spec was majorly nerfed. It used to basically be like the first ability, but it had a counter attached to it. So if they attacked you, they would get place lock stun and the clones would just absolutely hammer them and demolish them. This weapon spec wasn't here. This is actually a new edition. It actually does drain their mode. But yeah, Shindai Kuma unreleased. Oh my bejesus, man. This is absolutely nuts. And it's gonna touch me for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like, subscribe, guys. Bye-bye.